Okay, folks, we're here to talk about the 4th of July event and why it is so important because I want to make this very clear and answer some of the questions that you guys have had. So, one thing to note, you do actually have to get the coordinates before you get the relic chests on each of the missions. I've had a lot of questions about that. You can't just try to go to the chest and get the chest. But that and another one is the cannonballs. I did just put a video on how to get them pretty easy. But at any rate, you have to snake stuff at the bottom of these lakes here with the flag icon. But go ahead and check that video out if you're having problems with the cannonballs. And also, one thing I want to stress, guys, why this event is so important is if we'll go into shop here. If you go around and do your cannonball or your cannons and your flags, you can get these lures and the fireworks, and I'll get into the fireworks here in a second. But anyway, we are going to go down to lures and just click into them. There is 17 of these lures, and you're going to want all of them. Now, what I would do if I were you guys is I would definitely get all of them. Don't buy them from the shop. Get them from the cannons first, and on the last day, if you don't have a certain one, go ahead and get it. But you really want to get all these American ones. These are these are the only lures that rival X series in the game. Some of these lures I use way more than X series. For example, the Star Spangled Crankbait. That's how I got second the other day at Catfish Trials. Or another great example is a Patriot Walker. There's like 3 comps that I use that in. Also, like the spinnerbait is a super amazing at smallmouth bass. They're in, and just some really good things. The Saloon Nymph is really good at tarpon. Uh, it's just crazy that these lures are as good as they are. This Liberty Spoon, as you guys can see in my guides, I pretty much live off that at Alaska, and the grub works really good for a lot of trout. And the rattlesnake worm is I throw on behind anything. So I'm just letting you guys know them are the really important ones. And how I would go about going doing it, guys, is one of the last days of the event. I would go in here and check and see which one you have this backpack or home icon on. And if you don't have it, then get them for bait coins in the shop here. But that's how I would go about it, because you're not going to have them. If you don't have something, like I don't have this slop spoon right here, obviously there's no icon. But you can see in the top left corner on the silver one, I have that one. So at the end of the event, if you have done all your guys' cannons and flags and you haven't got them, definitely come in here and I would get them. There's very few that aren't worthwhile. Um, the Firework Tube, that's probably one of the least effective in this pack, but that still actually works really good on crappie. And the Revolutionary Craw, that's one of the more, not as good ones in here. This Bison Spinner is pretty good at Gold Rush. They all kind of have a reason why you want them, guys. I guess the 13 Arrows Deep Runner outside of Falcon Lake I don't use a lot, but the Bullfrog Popper works really good at Louisiana. So I would definitely focus on this, guys. Why these are super important. If you were going to do any event all year, this is the event to do because the lures are better. Uh, I mean, these lures, a lot of these are better than X Series. I think a lot of you agree. And also down in the comments, guys, let me know which one is your favorite lure out of these. Mine is pretty tough. It's between this Liberty Spoon and the Walker for the people that have used it. Um, and also, guys, I want to get into why you want to do the flagpoles. Right now, these fireworks, I mean, you need them for the historic fish, but later on, you're going to want to have them for your Christmas event. So your Christmas event, when you can go ahead and get a bunch of uniques every year, when they go to White Moose and this happens, I see people running out of fireworks all the time, and you could really be stockpiling these fireworks to help you out come in December, guys. So this is one of the more important events because of the lures and the fireworks. I just wanted to show you guys why it's so important. And like I said, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful time. If you guys are struggling on fish coordinates one, everybody does. That relic chest is really hard to get out of that corner. Some people get lucky, get it right away. But I know a bunch of people struggle with that relic chest. Keep in mind on them, on all of them deals, you don't have to snag necessarily the canoe. You just have to snag something near it too. And I will leave in a pinned comment below all that playlist for this whole event. I already have them all done, and so you guys can see how I did it. The one thing to note is when I'm trying to snag snuff on the bottom of the lake, I always use a bottom rod now, pretty much. It works so much better than like crankbaits, even, or stuff like that. But just like I said, come back and make sure you guys get all these. I know you can buy them in a DLC pack. I actually did that at one point. But if you guys don't want to go that route, just go ahead, make sure you're getting your cannons, and then come back. And when you're done, then use your bait coins to get some spares. And just keep in mind, like the Walker and the striped jerkbait, you only get one of. So for me, I bought a few extra, and because I had a bunch of spare bait coins, so I actually bought a bunch of these to have in my bag. But hopefully this helps you out, guys. We'll see you next time.